everybody, Jeffrey James down here from Heber Springs Young Life, and I get to read a couple of chapters of How to Eat Fried Worms, chapter 25. The car slid quietly to a stop under the streetlight outside Billy's house. "Shh," whispered Alan to his father. "Billy's asleep." His father glanced back at Billy, snoring peacefully in the back seat, his plump cheeks sticky with orange soda. Alan ran up to the house and tell him, "I'm bringing Billy in." Billy's father met them at the door, and taking Billy, whispered his thanks. Alan and his father went down the walk. Behind them, the porch light clicked off. In the back seat of the car, Joe and Alan wrestled gleefully. "We did it! We've won!" "He'll never wake up now." Alan struggled out of Joe's grip and asked his father, "What time is it?" "Late, almost midnight, I think." Joe pulled Alan's head down and tried to sit on it. He couldn't do it, not even if he woke up. He could find and cook and eat a worm in the dark. Hee, we've won. We've won. Chapter 26. But slumped on the bathroom stool, his mother holding his chin while she washed his face, Billy was waking. "Hold still, dear. Did you have a good time? You're certainly home late. Is this the part of winning the bet?" Billy's eyes blinked sleepily. He had a gnawing feeling he had forgotten something. He hiccuped, gazing dopily down at the fuzzy blue bath mat, and yawned. He'd remember in the morning it couldn't be that he hadn't won yet. There were still 3 to go. 15 worms in 15 days. Today was. He jumped up. "Mom, I haven't eaten my worm today." And suddenly it came to him, the whole trip, all the candy bars, hot dogs, hamburgers, popcorn. "What time is it, Mom? Quick!" "About 11:45. It was a trick." He snatched his pants off the floor. "They were trying to make me forget." He tumbled and slid downstairs through the dining room, his shirt tail flying, yanked open the drawer in the kitchen table, snatched out the flashlight, the drawer spilling out with the clatter and the crash onto the floor. He slammed out the back door. "The Finks!" He scuttled across the backfield towards Tom's house, searching the ground with a flashlight as he went. "There! Darn, a stick! Geez, suppose I can't find one." He stopped. There won't be time to cook it." He ran on. "And no ketchup." He stopped. I'll bet Tom wasn't sick at all. He ran on. The night was moonless and close. He paused to a heavy, overrotten log in the high, dewy grass. Mealybugs and scooters clambered over the stone wall into Tom's backyard. And all of a sudden, wrestling with a pup tent, muffled grunts and thrashings. "Tom," he yelled. "Tom, it's me, Billy. They're trying to trick us." Tom and his younger brother Pete crawled out from under the pup tent. "It was a trick," panted Billy. "Alan and Joe were trying to make me forget. 15 worms in 15 days. If I don't eat one in the next 10 minutes, Alan says he won. It's almost midnight. And they left me home so I wouldn't remind you." Billy nodded. "Have you got a worm?" "We'll have to find one." Tom dug back into the pup tent and came up with 2 flashlights. They zigzagged back and forth across the lawn, bent over searching. "I got one," cried Pete. "Shh, I'll have to eat it raw," said Billy. He threw it back his head. "Wait," whispered Tom, grabbing his arm. "You should do it where Alan and Joe can see you. Pete, run and get your siren out of the garage." Chapter 27. Under the streetlight in front of Alan's house, Tom and Pete knelt over the siren. Billy stood beside them, the night crawler squirming in his fingers. "Now, wait till lots of lights comes all over in all the houses," said Tom, "then chomp it down. Ready, Pete?" "Now," the siren growled, winding slowly up and up until it screeched across the sleeping neighborhood, sending birds squawking and chirping into the air from trees and rooftops. Dogs began to bark. Windows lit up. There were confused shouts, bangs on the windows, slamming up. "Ladies and gentlemen," shouted Tom through the dying whine of the siren, "Alan Phelps and Joseph O'Hara, through their thickness and cheating, their lies and dirty." "Come on," muttered Billy, his head thrown back, dangling the worm over his open mouth. "We haven't got much time." Alan Phelps and Joseph O'Hara shouted, "Tom has forced us to wake you all up so that you may know and witness the eating of the 15th worm." He dropped to his knees and the siren wound slowly up to a screech. Billy dropped the crawler into his mouth and chewed feverishly. His eyes closed, fell to his knees, still chewing, his face turning beet red. toppled over on his side, still chewing, rolled over and withered about the sidewalk, clutching his stomach, still chewing. Tom and Pete kneeling by the streetlight, working the screaming siren. Billy threw open his arms, and he lay still on his back under the glare of the streetlight, his mouth wide open. "Ha ha!" announced Tom, springing up and pointing to Billy. The three boys ran off into the darkness. As they went, Tom yelled, "Remember Alan Phelps and Joseph O'Hara."